I'm Jett Luchanko, and you're watching Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemyre. And this week we're fortunate to have a young man, very young man, I will say, the youngest player ever for the Philadelphia Flyers, which is pretty remarkable in all the years that the Flyers have been around. But 2024 first-round draft pick for the Philadelphia Flyers, Mr. Jett Luchanko. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here with us, man. You've had a wild year, I should say. Maybe not wild's the word, but a fun year. You get drafted. Michael Buffer, not a big deal.
Yeah, right.
Calls, makes the call there, which was pretty cool.
He is Jett Luchanko. That was excellent.
Make the opening day roster, which was amazing. Reminded me a lot of Lautz. Scotty Lawton when he made it, and you end up going back to your junior team and, go to the World Juniors. Probably not the outcome you wanted. Well, I know it wasn't. It was for me, not you two Canadians. U.S., yes, I was happy. But in all seriousness, then you come and you're a pro again, playing against men and getting ready to head into the playoffs, man. It's a wild year for you.
Yeah, honestly, hard to keep track of kind of what's happened in the last year, but I don't know if it's all sunk in yet. Haven't had much time to really think about it, but it's like you said, it's all fun, and there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. Kind of to be able to play against men, and even just to be back in junior with all my buddies and all that, and some cool experiences. So it was fun.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's awesome.
You've been here, I guess, 7 games or so. How's it been in Lehigh Valley, Allentown here?
It's been great. The guys are great. I've known some of them from camp and things like that too. So it's a great group of guys, great staff, and they've made it pretty easy for me to kind of come in here and feel comfortable.
It's a pretty nice setup, eh?
Yeah, it's a great setup. I've seen some of the other rinks and stuff like that. This one's really nice.
Yeah.
And all primed up for the playoffs, so that'd be a good opportunity for you and the squad to get some playoff reps, pro level.
Yeah, exactly. We weren't fortunate enough to make it back in junior to playoffs, so it'd be nice to get some games in, and we got a good team here. We got some guys coming back, so it's gonna be a good push.
Yeah, we were just talking to Lappy for a few minutes, and Riley was a teammate of him, of Laps, and I had him, as an equipment guy for a long time, and he's super excited for you guys, and he spoke about how important this is, especially for a young guy like yourself, to get yourself prepared playing against men, which you did obviously at the beginning of the year, obviously in the NHL, getting 4 games, and now the playoffs. So it's a different animal, and it's super exciting when you're there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited for that, and Lappy's been great. He's an awesome coach, and it's easy to play for a guy like that. So playoffs is really excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the conversations with Lap? Is he just kind of like play your game? And
do you understand him for one?
Yeah, he definitely. He likes to talk, but it's all good. It's all fun, and he might seem a little bit intimidating, but he's a great guy, and
He really is.
And yeah, he just, like you said, just kind of tells me to play my game and try not to worry too much. And if you always think that way, and good things will come from that. So
yeah,
that's right.
It's great advice. It's a hard thing to do, right? It's like obviously you've heard that before. Is play your game, and I think we're all guilty of getting in our own head. But you seem like a pretty relaxed guy, and you know your job description. So it doesn't seem like it's overly hard to just go out there and do your thing.
Yeah, I try not to think about it too much. Nothing good really comes from overthinking all that. Kind of just go with the flow and come to the rink every day and kind of get your job done, go on the ice, have fun with it. That's kind of the way I like to look at it.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Jett, like the whole build up to the draft and second of all, like, what a cool spot you got to go to is Vegas in the Sphere. Like, that place is amazing, by the way. But I don't know if you could talk a little bit about that build-up. Did you have an idea the Flyers were maybe going to take you, and anything like that? Any when you guys go to the combine, you answer questions, like things like that. Was that did I give you anxiety, or was it like nerve-wracking for you? Or were you pretty like low-key and it doesn't really bother you?
Yeah, that was probably like one of the hardest things for me. I feel like I'm more of a kind of quieter guy, and kind of being able to talk to adults in situations like that when they're asking you questions was something. But I think it kind of eases you into it. You kind of start off just a few kind of calls and things like that, and it kind of ramps up. So you get pretty comfortable with it and kind of get the same questions. But no, I didn't really know that it was the Flyers or anything really. I think I just talked to them at the combine. So I didn't really know until they drafted me there.
Yeah.
Are they throwing some hardball questions at you? Is like a border crossing agent? Like, are they trying to stump you, or what is it? Or is it pretty straightforward?
I feel like going into the combine, I was prepared for things like that, but honestly, like, I felt like I didn't get that much. Like, I didn't get anything really crazy.
It's just like straightforward questions. Like,
yeah, I feel like every kind of interview was pretty much the same kind of stuff.
Oh, really?
Like, I was kind of just felt like I was repeating myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've heard all kinds of stories about like the questions they'd give, so I was ready for that. But honestly, didn't get that much.
Yeah, I'm sure for some guys, if there are maybe question marks around maybe their character or something like that, they probably throw some curveballs at them just to see how they take it. But I mean, it sounds like you're a pretty straight edge guy, and they know what they're dealing with, so they didn't really have to maybe throw those at you. Just kind of lob them in there for you.
Yeah, hopefully that's the reason.
Hopefully that's the reason.
Well, worked out
great.
for you.
Yeah. Growing up, who's your favorite team growing up as a kid?
It was the Flyers for a bit because my cousins are from around here, and then kind of just switched over to the Leafs. Marner I grew up in London, and I was watching Marner play for London with that team with the Chuck and Dvorak and all that.
Not bad.
So then he went to
not a bad
the.
team.
It was unbelievable, yeah. And so then he went to the Leafs, and then kind of being able to just watch him every game on TV.
Yeah.
So I kind of switched over to the Leafs for a bit there.
So he's kind of he's your favorite player. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite Flyer growing up?
Probably Drew.
Yeah.
Like that
He's
was
not
kind of
bad.
that would have been he's not bad. That would have been the time of him for sure.
Yeah.
Would have been him, yeah.
And then as far as like modeling your game after anybody, would it be one of those two guys? I mean, you're a speedy guy. It's obviously one of your biggest assets, but like as far as like the way you would like model your game, is there anybody in particular?
Yeah, Marner a bit, just
Yeah.
kind of passing and things like that. But I would say more of maybe a guy like Dylan Larkin or
Okay.
someone
Yeah.
who's kind of two-way responsible. They can kind of be trusted and in a lot of situations and kind of like to use their speed. That's kind of, I feel like that's what I was always kind of saying in those interviews was him.
And then when so you obviously got the speed asset. You come to the NHL. Like, what were you noticing? Like, you obviously were able to keep up speed-wise. Can you identify one or two things that you went back to your junior team to kind of work on? And you noticed like, okay, maybe there's something that I need to like spend a little more attention on and a little more time on that maybe I wasn't really bringing awareness to.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of little details, kind of just like very little things that kind of surprised me. It was like that they even kind of think about that, and like you see it in the video sessions they have there, and the kind of preparation they do is they kind of take everything into consideration. But I think for me, for things to work on was kind of just like offensive play, and you see the way those guys are so skilled, and even the guys you think would be like fourth liners or in and out of the lineup, they're like incredibly skilled, and it's just kind of things like that, just kind of being able to work on my hands and my shot a little more, and that's what junior was good for.
Nice.
Yeah,
So if you said there was like a gap between like like being like a seasoned NHL player and then maybe where you are like right at this moment, like what is that gap? You said the minor, like the small details. Like, is there anything else that jumps out to you? Like if you're to coach yourself and evaluate yourself, like this is what I really need to focus on to being like consistent staple in the NHL?
I would say for me it'd be kind of just more offensive stuff.
Okay.
Like my shot. Like
Shooting more maybe? Or
shooting more, definitely kind of getting myself into that position and being able to shoot quickly and kind of just hold on to pucks sometimes a little more.
Yeah.
I could be more offensive if I were to say for myself. And definitely my shot is something that I've been trying to work on the most.
Yeah. You're a pass first guy generally?
Yeah, usually am, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lappy was talking about the speed. Your speed reminds him of himself. And, we didn't really agree with that, but
Yeah.
yeah, say man.
Yeah, say,
you know. But Lappy was commenting a lot on your smarts while you play, the angling, the stick angle, just all.
Yeah, I think the words he used was a very mature, player,
especially
and
being
person.
18 years old. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, there's obviously like those little details you probably already had them in your repertoire, but you went back and you worked on them a little bit more. Is that what he's maybe seeing? Just like those little details like that you mentioned.
Yeah, I feel like I've always kind of tried to pride myself in those little things, but it's just like I said, at that level, there's even more, and you can't really make those little mistakes because teams will find the opening pretty quickly and be able to score on you. So I know there's probably a couple goals when I was there in the 4 games that were like because of my coverage and things like that. So it's kind of cool, honestly, to see the way they go about it.
Yeah, it's a fast league. I mean, you're obviously extraordinarily fast, but things happen fast out there. Obviously, at every level you get to, they're going to be faster and faster. But it's a fast game. Man.
Yeah. How did you find the transition play from obviously playing the NHL and then going back down? Just how quickly the puck transitions. The speed is one thing, but then like just how quickly these guys move the puck and it's about back the other way.
Yeah, that's definitely the most fun part. Everything's right on the tape. Even just practice, just flowing through, like get 10 drills done in like 10 minutes, just buzzing around. It's really fun. That's probably the best part, and that definitely is a big difference. Going back to the OHL was kind of waiting for the puck a little more and things like that. So that, like I said, that was really fun.
Guys are throwing bombs in your skates.
High flips.
Probably
High flips. Yeah, the high flips. Oh, that's great. Well, so you come to camp, and everyone always talks about Torch's bag skate, that first one. We always ask people, and you've probably been asked 100 times by now, but like, were you worried the night before? Like, am I going to make it? Because a lot of guys say that.
The way everyone's talking about it, definitely. The night before, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And they made, like, I don't know if you saw, but it was like a trailer almost on the Instagram.
I remember that, yeah.
It looked like it was like a horror movie
yeah.
trailer. They had, like, evil, Torts laugh in the background.
Yeah, that's great.
But it wasn't as bad as everyone says, but it's still.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's
still
probably not enjoyable.
No, definitely not.
That.
No.
I think the lead up to it's
Well, I
probably
think that's
worse
what
than
it is.
anything,
For sure.
Yeah, the dramatics around it, especially when they're making pump up videos around it. It's like, the whole fans, everyone's like, "Woo!" It's like, this is gonna be the craziest skate of all time.
Drinking water the day before and getting a good meal in.
Just a reminder to get your electrolytes in.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to also mention like guys like Patrick Sharp and John Leclerc, guys like that being around. Were you able to like talk to them a bit and like kind of pick their brain? They're great guys, man. Or they're great players, obviously.
Yeah, they're always around. It's a great staff they have here, and it's always cool to be able to kind of pick the brains from those guys. And you don't even really have to. They'll come up and approach you a lot of the time, which is awesome. So, they always have little things, and they always talk about the equipment and what to do. So it's really cool to have them.
Yeah, Johnny's stick. I don't know if you've had a look at that blade though.
Yeah,
you can play right-handed or left-handed. That thing's so bad, but he scored.
Yeah.
He scored.
Never trouble scoring. That's
he
for sure.
scored a lot.
Yeah.
He sure did. What's the relationship like for you, like Danny B? Like he's just a great guy. He's one of our really good friends. Obviously, had him as a player, teammate. But I really like what he's doing here. But I just wondered, like, you able to talk to him a little bit here and there?
Yeah, once in a while. He's a great guy. he seems, he's approachable, and
Yeah.
he's definitely, always in your corner. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's definitely cool to be able to have a guy like that who I feel like is just kind of really good to everyone, and sometimes the GMs like to kind of be intimidating and things like that. So he's great.
Yeah. As far as leadership goes, maybe with the Flyers and then your time here, was there anybody that kind of took you under their wing and just kind of helped you out while you were maybe up with the Flyers there 4 games at the start of the year and now with the Phantoms?
Yeah, I feel like when I was with the Flyers, Konechny was really good. I feel like he's kind of just great to everyone, always kind of chatting in the room and things like that. So I feel like he was always great to me, kind of making sure I was ready for everything and all kind of the logistics and things like that. And I feel like Wilson has been really good here as well.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. I started on his line, in the first few games, and he's a great guy to play with, great player to be around. There's no doubt why he's the captain. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Lappy was talking about just like the tightness of the group here, just like that internal leadership group, and how that makes it easier on him, like his job, when you got that collective leadership that's towing in the same direction that the coaching leadership comes from. Can you maybe talk to just like, I know you've only been here for 7 games or so, but just like the glue in the locker room?
Yeah, it's huge for sure, is to be able to have that leadership within the group and kind of just doing fun things, like we did a Masters draft the other day, and
nice.
Everyone.
Did you win?
No, my team we came third. We didn't do bad.
Oh, it's not bad.
Yeah, we had a pretty good squad, but yeah, kind of just having everyone involved and kind of gets brings guys together. There's a lot of guys come from a lot of different places here. We've got some Europeans and some French guys, and so it's always cool to see everyone kind of being able to mingle together. So it's a great group.
That's great. And then obviously you got the playoffs ahead here. You got two more regular season games. We obviously wish you luck in the playoffs here. To stretch that out and go the distance. But like off-season plans, you going back home? You gonna be in Philly? Where's your head at for that this summer?
Yeah, I think I'll go home for a bit. I definitely haven't been home in a bit, so definitely go there. I'm not sure. I'll probably spend a little bit of time here, but I think mostly I'll kind of just be at home. I've got my trainer there, and lots of places to skate and lots of good players to skate with in London. So
that's
great.
awesome. Yeah, because you've had a pretty hectic year, man. I mean, you've been on the go. So it'd probably be nice to get
a little rest and decompression, man. Yeah, but you got some work ahead of you here.
We can't take it down to the shore yet.
No.
A few years we'll take you down and introduce you to this Danny Moore guy. I don't think Danny Laperriere wants us doing that, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm messing with you. I was going to ask. I know you were there for a couple weeks there with the Flyers and in camp as well. But what were your thoughts on Matvey? As a player in his game? I know he'd only been here a little bit at the beginning of the year, but
yeah, he's a special player for sure.
Yeah,
played with him in the rookie games, on his line, and it was just every kind of pass he was able to handle and just put on your tape. It was a lot of fun. I could see why he was so highly touted. So obviously he's doing great things here this year, and he's gonna have a really good future. So hopefully.
Sure.
Hopefully I get to play with him at some point.
Nice. If you were to just observe him and recognize what makes him special, what is it?
I think it's just his offensive mind. Somehow he's always in kind of the right position, and his hands. And some people might think he's more of a shooter and things like that, but he makes just as good passes as anyone. So I think he's got it all for the offensive side, hands, smarts. It's really fun to play with.
And then we kind of already touched on it, but just asking yourself that same question, what makes Jett special?
I feel like for me it'd just kind of be my speed and maybe my vision a little bit. I think that with compete as well. I think that's kind of what I try and bring to the table consistently every night. And yeah, the biggest thing for me would just be to kind of use my speed to my advantage as much as I can.
Yeah, awesome.
That's me in men's.
Yeah, it sounds like you in men's league.
I'm not fast. No, I'm kidding.
You gotta tell him to move his feet.
Yeah.
Get over the blue line.
I thought you said my pins are always going.
No, well.
I'm kidding.
Skating
but,
in quicksand.
But I did want to mention, I think you got to go to a Phillies playoff game or two. we always talk about, like, for some of the guys that play with the Flyers and haven't made the playoffs yet, he can attest to it. We unfortunately lost in the finals back in 2010 when Riley was playing, but you saw that atmosphere. It's funny how great it is for the Phillies. Any team in Philadelphia, like, it's like that, but when you're inside the building, it's like that. It's like one of the loudest places you can be. So hopefully the plan is in 2 years or so, you're going to be witnessing that, and you'll be a big part of it, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's intense. It's
intense.
fun.
Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah.
The orange out.
Oh, the orange
if that's
out.
what you want to call it, yeah.
Yeah, the vibe is high for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, did you get a cheesesteak while you were there? And
I
Did
did.
you have a favorite?
I only got one.
Oh,
I
okay.
honestly forget what it was called.
Oh, okay.
It was somewhere downtown though, but it was good.
It was good.
I
It was
love
good.
I love those things. Those are great.
Yeah. Riley eats too many. We gotta try.
Well,
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, he
we
does
I
it.
used to. I
He
used to. Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, to
It's
keep
overloading.
your weight up, you had to. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. You got anything else, Riggs?
I think we're.
Let this guy go.
I think we gotta let him rock. Yeah, get some rest and
We appreciate your time.
regroup.
bud.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much.
We have a guest, Roz. You're pretty familiar with his dad.
I am.
Maybe had a couple scraps back in the day, but I want to welcome with us Sawyer Boulton. Thanks for joining us. Just got him after he got off the ice. Fresh off a win in London last year for the Memorial Cup. Congratulations. I have a bit of a funny story. Last year when I was working with the Rebels, I'm out for watching them on the bench, watching warm-ups, and I see this 36 Bolton, and I'm like, just no way. There's no way. And nothing against you, built like your dad. And I'm like, wow. So I'm like texting Marty Biron, and I'm like, hey, what are the chances? Oh, yeah, that's Saw. That's him. That's
Saw,
it.
yeah.
And anytime I read a text from Marty, it's in his, his
right, the way
broken
he says
English,
it.
I should say.
Saw, I love
and
that.
He goes, so, we go into the room, and I'm like, I don't know this young man. I know his dad a little bit. I had some conversations with him over the years, but I said, I got a feeling he's going to be looking to chalk the Knox a little bit. So after the first period, now I don't know how true this is, but a lot of the kids, like we didn't really have any toughness on our team, but they were like, after the first period, they're like, Nast, he asked me to go, and I'm like, what'd he say? He was like, hey man, you want to get her going? You want to go or whatever? And they're like, no, man. And you're like, okay, I could have gone over and told you weren't gonna get any takers, but anyway, welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Really good to be here, guys. It's nice to finally meet you guys. I've watched the podcast plenty of times. Been through the Instagram account. And
Yeah,
There you go.
I love
Yeah.
what you guys do.
thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it, yeah.
Like
Thanks
to
for
have some
joining us.
fun. Yeah, man.
Down in Lehigh Valley, checking out practice, and hello to a few guys. So I appreciate you just sitting down with us and sharing a few stories.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Riles, he kind of is on a journey you started
Yeah.
a long time ago. We were talking about that on the way here. If you want to
Yeah.
share that a little bit.
well, yeah, just knowing your dad, obviously, and kind of looking at your hockey DB and just hearing from Nast with the Rebel stories there. But I would say similar paths. You're a journeyman. You're trying to find your way here in an era where it seems like it's outdated. So maybe talk us through your mentality and what you're trying to do and how you're getting yourself up every day to play the role and find your way. You seem like a great guy, good attitude. Obviously, physically, you're doing what you need to do. So just maybe walk us through the mindset of a modern day enforcer.
Well, I started it right in the null for my junior career, and since I was a kid, my goal is to take hockey as far as I could, and then I've always wanted to play physical. That's always been a thing in my family with my dad, as you know, and I just started loving playing that type of game. And, if you want to be successful, you want to chase your dreams, you're going to have to carve out a role for yourself. And I've identified my role. I like to play physical, create energy, and defend my teammates. And that's what I like doing.
I love
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. And a lot of people, we talk about this a lot, you need it.
Yeah.
Every team needs it. I don't care. I know it's not the 70s. It's not about that. It's about, like you said, creating energy, protecting a teammate if you need to. And Riley was really good at that job. Your dad obviously was really good at that job. And it's nice to see guys that have that in them and want to do it. And it's a tough job. It's a tough role. Like Riley said, you you get up daily. You may not be playing every night, but you got to keep that positive attitude in the locker room. And Lappy just absolutely loves you. I don't know if you guys get along. Maybe you don't like Lappy. No, I'm kidding. But Lappy was a warrior as well, and he loves you. He said a lot of nice things about you this year, so it's nice to finally get to meet you.
Yeah, so you're obviously a Bolton. So is it just organic that you found this role? Was there any, I don't want to say pressure, but like did your dad kind of like show his hand a little bit of roadmap, or you just kind of knew?
It's kind of funny because before you were allowed to hit, he would kind of, talk about playing physical, being a big body, getting me ready for hitting.
Yeah.
But once I could and play physical, like he didn't have to tell me anything. He was actually kind of telling me the opposite. Like, all right,
slow it down there, Chopper. Yeah.
Try to touch the puck. And I was like, hitting's more fun, It's just been like that.
Yeah, so a little bit organic, yeah.
A little bit organic. And same thing with my little brother. Like,
yeah, he's the same thing.
Just how he came up, just psycho, loves to mix it up.
I love it. Yeah. We were kidding around on the way. We were like, Bolts probably just said, "Hey, boys, here's some boxing gloves. Let's go." Like now you got to drop them. But that's so great.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
No, I can appreciate you enjoying the hits and the banging, right? I was the same way. It's like once I got that feeling of blowing guys up, it was just like, man, I was like, I'd rather be doing this than I'm worrying about playing the puck, maybe to a fault. But there's something special about it's a skill in its own right? I mean, being in position and then being able to time passes and just being in position all together. But it also takes a different type of mindset, right? It's like not everybody's wired for that, as you know. So and there's very few guys like yourself left. Maybe talk about that and just like how hard it is to even find a dance partner in this day and age, and maybe in this league or in the coast, wherever else you were.
Well, I know back in the day, some like the old tough guys, they'd be coming in a lot more fights than guys are now, and there was more experience. It was more normalized, and kind of just, especially in the O last year, lot less. Like there's a guy who will play hard on every team, but not a guy who wants to fight every night on every team. And you don't have to fight every night, right? But it's definitely less than it has been. But I think that also could work as a good thing. It just depends who you are. It depends what organization you're a part of. If it's rare, they might want you. They might value you. And, that's kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
This is a good organization for that. And again, I'm not talking about going back to the bullies, but, Danny B, who played, obviously with your dad, like he played in a tough area, like sometimes I don't think he gets the credit. He gets the credit for being a really good player, but they forget how hard the game was. And he's not an overly big guy. I call him a little guy actually, but they appreciate that. And I think, guys like Danny, Jonesy know how important that is. And I was super excited when you signed. I was like sending all the kids with the Rebels. I'm like, hey, we got Bolts over here now. And they loved it, but it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. It might, I'm looking back, and I was always fighting with 30, 35 times a year, and it'd been nice to maybe fight 15 or 20 or even less. You know what I mean? Like salvage the body a little bit, but really more focusing on like really the hits and like just playing hard. Because I was so consumed by it, as you probably are too, on some level. But like I was just wanting to get the fight out of the way. So it was almost like instead of like inviting the fight and like blowing a guy up and like allowing it to happen, I was just so consumed with like just like let's get the fight, like let's get her going. And then like it wasn't always the best strategy. I look back, I wish I could have just like played the game a little bit more, and I guess it was a little bit of ego. It's like I need to get 30, need to get 35, but like if I had played a little bit more that way and maybe he's got 20, it might have been able to handle it, be a little more durable and manage the game a little bit more. But it'd be nice to in this day and age know that you can run around like Donkey Kong most nights, and there's not going to be anybody on the other side that's really going to even want to deal with you.
No, guys don't want to. There'll be a guy that'll step up once in a while, but like you said, you wish you would have played the game a little more. I got to keep that in mind, right? When I'm having so much fun doing my role out there, I got to keep in mind, I get better, got to play hands, positioning, all that stuff. And the fights will come.
Yeah.
I have a feeling you work hard at it, though. I know Ryle's actually, you did, especially with the 2 past games. But but no, in all seriousness, though, I know Lappy had said you work really hard, and that'll come from the hard work. So
Yeah.
it's a big part of it. I will tell you this. I think I've said it on here before, but one of the funniest things. I mean, awkward for Riley and your dad. We're in Atlanta, and there was it was morning skate. And Marty B's just out there chirping. So,
Always.
So Bolts is like, your dad's leaned on the wall. And so me and Riley are kind of standing behind Marty. And he's like, hey, Bolts, look. This is the guy you're going to fight tonight. And your dad's like, and Riley's like, oh, fuck, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
And your dad's like, I don't want to fight anybody. So I'm like, dude, why would you even say that? These 2 guys, because they didn't really know each other, right?
Yeah.
They obviously respected each other. And I don't remember if you fought that night or not.
I think we did,
you
yeah.
did, yeah. But it was just funny. Like, Marty, what are you, Don King?
Yeah,
Setting these
a
fights
buck
up?
70, brokering
With
fights
his gear
for
on.
us. Yeah.
With his gear on, a buck 70. Sorry, Marty, it's true. That went 135 at the draft.
Yeah.
Something like
I've
that.
seen a good couple of you guys' scraps, wars.
Yeah,
you'll love to see it.
no, he is. Yeah, he was. Your dad was, man. I mean, your
was
dad was
tough,
tough and
boy.
durable,
Big fat
strong. Yeah, just. I mean, I don't know how many guys that played that role lasted as long as he did.
Yeah,
you know what I
he
mean? He had a
15
great career, even
seasons.
after the lockout there. I think he played in the coast maybe for a year, and then went and did it another. I don't even know, almost like 7-8 years. So.
Yeah.
I mean, props to him. It's not an easy job, and he was, I say, one of the best. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he
tough,
really was.
tough dude.
Tough.
Yeah.
Trying to be like him.
Yeah, well, you are. I would just keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
And as you kind of alluded to that a moment ago, as I was talking about maybe working on the game a little bit more, like that would be my advice. Just like obviously you're tough, you know it. The fights will come, and you'll be able to handle your own. I would just keep just hammer away at the ice and just get the reps in, because that's one thing I look back. I'm like, if I just spent a little bit more time working on my skill, who knows what would have happened, but it's not going to take away from your toughness, that's for sure. You just add another dimension to your game, but I think you already know that. You're having fun, you're
100%.
doing your thing. So
Yeah.
just enjoy the stretch here.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
you guys are in a good situation, good
Very.
team, great coaching staff,
Yep.
great building.
We're all excited to get that going. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Boys are juiced.
Yeah.
Little
sure.
reinforcements too.
Yeah,
Some
that's right.
faces.
That's right. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I was going to say, too, obviously you know about Lappy. I don't know how much you know about Jason Smith, Gator. He was a captain for us for the Flyers for 1 year. And you talk about a tough man. And I'm not just talking about fighting. I mean, you look at his hand. You ever seen his hands? They're going every. I said, let me see those hands. They're still going every which way. I remember him coming off the ice the one time, and he says to our medical guy, he's like, I think I broke my thumb again.
He's like twisted.
Blood squirting out of his thumb. I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
He played in the playoffs the year we went to the conference finals, and about 2 games before the end of the year, he broke both clavicles, right?
Right, yeah.
And-
Gator broke both clavicles.
Listen, so he's on the medical table. He's literally got ice all over his body, and he's sitting there and he's watching TV. And I walked in because I didn't want to say it out loud, and I'm like, am I taking Gator? I said to the medical guy, am I going to take Gator's gear? And he goes, why wouldn't you, nasty? And he said he heard me say it, and I'm like, you got 10 bags all over your shoulders and you have 2 broken clavicles? Like, I don't know. Why am I asking? I don't know. I mean, I know this man was tough. He played, didn't miss a game, played in the playoffs. We were laughing. We're like, if the guy scores a game-winning goal, like, it probably wasn't going to happen, by the way. He didn't really shoot the puck. But if he did, he couldn't even raise his hands up.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, man. It was
Yeah, he was
unbelievable.
the ultimate warrior,
Oh, my
for
God.
sure.
They had a great picture. They had a great billboard of him with his eyes black.
He looked like the Terminator.
He
It was
did.
like
He
the
looked
stuff
like
dripping
out
out
of a
of him.
movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sure you know about those guys. But they're great. They're great people to learn from too.
Even before a Google search,
Yeah.
meet Gator for the first time. Like, all right, this guy.
Yeah.
This
yes.
guy's you don't have to
old school.
Google search.
Yes, he
Yeah.
definitely is.
You can tell.
He's a great man. Great man.
Sweet. Well, we appreciate you, Sawyer,
man.
sitting down, chopping it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Enjoy
meeting you,
the
buddy.
rest of the season here, playoffs, and your time here, man. Just,
Yeah, definitely.
cherish it.
Yeah, big run, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on,
Thanks,
guys.
Yeah,
man.
of
We
course.
appreciate you,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Take care,
All right.
Say hi to the old man.
I will.
Wish him the best.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
I'm Derek Settlemyre Riggs. We got our boy.
He's back.
Our friend, he's back.
You guys are coming to my house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
right.
in his house today.
That's
Mr.
right.
Ian Laperriere, head coach of the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. What's up, Lap?
And not much and a lot. It's exciting time right now. It's the end of the season and playoffs are around the corner. So it's exciting. You guys know, it's that time of the year, you go through that 50 to 60 games. It seems like it's Groundhog Day all the time. And finish line is so far. Right now it's right there. And everybody's pretty excited around here.
Yeah, we were looking mighty calm, Nasty. You clinched last weekend.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, I won't lie to you. I've been here for 4 years. The first year was a mess, and the second year we made it. Took to the last weekend. Last year, same thing. And for this year to clinch, 2 weeks before or more than 2 weeks, you sleep a little bit better. And I feel it in my players too. I know, no gray hair. That's hurtful. I'll show you my back. I do. But it's good for the players too. Now that it's pressure on those guys. They want to make it. They don't want to go through a full year and all of a sudden you don't make it. And I'm happy for them. I'm happy for my staff. It's a lot of, but again, we got a lot of work to do. We want to do something special in the playoffs, and but it's fun. It's exciting. I can't wait to get going.
Mm-hmm. You have we were noticing you have a lot of extra players right now. I guess guys from college and stuff like that.
That's really the first year I have to deal with that. And I told the players, bear with me. It's something I have to adjust every day because we have 6 lines and soon to have 9 Ds, 3 goalies, 4 goalies. Wow. So we have to run 2 practices. It's not easy. It's not easy for the guys that have been here all year and. But that's pro hockey. It's the American League. I have some prospect that I'm excited to have on our team. A bump is coming. You get Luchanko who's been here. Many guys are here, and we just got a trade from Nikita, who's a beauty. You guys will meet him later. But it's all those young guys. But for me as a coach here, I'm excited. That's the future of the Flyers. You bring the skills here and working with them, it's fun, and we're gonna see what kind of players they are when the pressure is on. Mm-hmm. Playoffs, it's a totally different level, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do.
I was gonna say, we were talking about it earlier. It really is an important time for a guy like Jett, right? And these younger guys that I'm not saying they've never been in a playoff, but this is pro. Different. You're playing with men, and. It's tough.
High, right?
Stakes are high, and it's like you said, this pressure. See how they handle it. It's good to see.
I'm excited to see him. He's been great. He came to us 7 games ago, and the speed is that thing that just sticks out.
Might be you.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
I know you didn't. I figured you did.
Yeah, we both shoot righty. I was the 7th round. He's the 1st round. Potato. But he's. Very mature, you talk to the kid, very mature, but in his game is very mature too, his stick details, his angles and everything. He's not perfect, nobody is, but really impressed with the first 7 games.
That's great. You mentioned earlier you have a lot of work to do preparing for the playoffs. Does the game plan change at all? Well,
it will change, we just don't know we're playing yet. We're fighting, with the 5th and 6th spot with Springfield, and you get Wilkes-Barre, Providence, and Charlotte that are fighting in front of us to figure out who's going to finish where. So I think by Wednesday, tomorrow, we'll have a better idea what's going on, because who we're going to play and who's going to lose, who's going to win. But at the end of the day, I'm a big believer, yes, we'll make adjustment. As you know, as a coach, you do have to make adjustment because they play different style, but it's got to come down to we have to play our game.
Yeah, exactly.
Our identity, our structures got to stay the same, and we're a hard-working team when we're on our game. We reload hard. We're a hard forechecking team. We're big time into details, stick details, blocking shots, making the right play in the red zones. All what we've been preaching. I've been preaching for 4 years. Now in the playoffs, you hope that the guys get it, and that's what it takes to win, and we'll know soon enough.
Yeah, for sure. And it sounds like you got a great locker room.
Yeah, I do.
Some nice pieces of leadership there. You want to talk to the guys?
I've said that since day one. I had Cal O'Reilly here as my first captain. Right. Unreal guy, down to earth, Hall of Famer in this league. Great family guy, great guy. Appreciated him, and you had Garrett Wilson as an assistant. And when Cal left, it was a no-brainer. Willis is my guy, and he's their guy. Most importantly, they see him as a big brother. He leads by example on and off the ice, in the gym. He's always one of the first one in there, brings the kids in, and he's what I need. As a young head coach, I need a guy who's pushing with me. And I can't get any better guy than that. And over the years, you know, you got a guy like Gartner Abels who's adding to that leadership group, Louis Belpedio, Guinea, Grancy, and they all fill those holes that I need as a coach to push that team in the right direction. And again, I've been lucky enough to have good character guys that push with me.
Yeah.
Not against me.
Yeah, right. Super important. I mean, just building off that, like, I'm not sure the fans understand how important it is to have that leadership within the locker room. Because, like, you can only do so much, Gator, you know, the crew can only
We've
do so
all
much.
been on teams that you had a third of the room that when the coach walked out, they were pushing against him.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Can't have that.
You know, you can't.
Like I know as a player, I've been on teams like that, especially when things don't go well. It's easy to go in the same direction when things go well, when guys get their cookies and they have their ice time, but when you start losing and the guys that don't have their ice time, they don't have their cookies, well, they're looking to point fingers, and so when the coach walks out of the room, you know, we've all been on
Yeah.
those
Sure, yeah.
teams, you
Seen
know.
it.
So not that long ago, you know, whatever. So you know, so we all know. But again, I don't feel that I had to deal with that because of my strong leadership group. You know,
Yeah,
like
so
they've been
important.
through their slums too, but they know what it takes and they believe in my message, and I can't thank them enough because they make my job easier.
Right.
And by them doing that, I don't lose the room. And if I lose the room, I'm done. So I got a good group.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
And one guy I forgot, Cal Peterson.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like he's been unbelievable. You know, like usually goalies are like, you know, on their own, and they're like kickers and punters and kickers in football.
Yeah.
But he's been a great leader on that team, and he's been great for those young guys. And that's another great guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is so important.
Yeah, you mentioned like it makes your job easier, but that's just
does.
like what good teams are built, are how they're built, right?
For sure.
It's like, it can't be just the great coaching staff, and then, you know, everything else is like.
We give them direction, we teach them, but at the end of the day, a guy that goes through war with them speaks loudly than I do.
Right.
Like, you know, we can go back to the guys we played with, but you look at the teams now, like in Florida. I'm not in that room, but I know like the leaders, the Kachuk, and all those guys, they push with Maurice. Same thing with our league. Hershey there, that leadership group, like last year and the year before that McElrath. Now they have those, you know, the Ness and Vecchione and Scarbosa. I'm not in that room, but I bet you for them to have that much success year after year after year, and Nilsson's a hell of a coach, don't get me wrong, great coach, but I'm sure he's got a great leadership group that's pushing with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the one consistent thing throughout all the teams that I've ever won is, I mean, the head of the snake, but like right
sure.
there with the head of the snake is the rest of the snake.
And I bet you when you guys won those Calder Cups in Philly there, I wasn't there, but the leadership group must have been unbelievable,
Yeah,
pushing with John Stevens and Chief and all those guys. So it's you need that.
You do.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on, Lap. Well, we appreciate you.
Well, don't be strangers.
Well,
come on, come over. You know.
We need some tickies. We need tickies and playoffs. Elvis is already asking.
I'll give you a good price, 50%.
Charge me $3 for a water. $2.50 last
$2.50.
time. I'll leave it to the top. You know that.
No, I don't. You do?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm leaving you.
Hey, good to see you, boys.
Good to see you
seriously.
too, man. Best of
Appreciate
luck, man.
Thank you.
It's fun. I'm glad you guys are getting in, and
Yeah.
we've talked to a few of your guys, and they're really happy. And not that we didn't think they would be,
But they should.
But
be.
it is nice.
Like they work all year, you know,
Yeah.
practices, trips. Like we're on the bus and you don't want to get to the finish line and not being part of the
Right.
dance. We all know as players that's
course.
where you want to be. That's fun. You don't need to prepare. You just go and play, and your passion takes over. And I'm happy for the room more than I'm happy for me too. But I'm mostly happy for those guys.
Like you said, it's the most exciting time.
It
I mean,
is.
it's so much fun to play
Yep.
off. So
Enjoy,
best
Lap.
of luck,
Well,
brother.
thanks for coming, boys.
right,
Don't be
thanks, guys.
strangers.